Hi, here's John again. Just a quick video really about the Henry Quick which is the dust-free emptying cordless stick vacuum cleaner from Henry. Right, okay, let's start the video then. Okay, well, first of all, it comes with the brush roll, where you can, as you can see, it is not anti-hair wrap, so you do need to get a pair of scissors or take the brush roll out by pressing the button on the top here, by there, and you can take the brush roll out and give the brush roll a clean. Also on the top, on the front, you've got your power controller, so obviously that way means that it's open more, and that way means you get more suction. Now what I've noticed is I've been using it with the most suction. What I have found is if you put it into boost mode, you can't push it on the carpets in this house. So you either have to open this up more when you're using it on boost mode, or you keep it on the normal mode. Now, this obviously vacuum cleaner, the Henry Quick, uses a pod system, so it's not bagless. The pod is what catches the dust, and it also acts as a filter as well. So when the pod is full, you then empty that into the bin, and you just put a new pod in. So one of the first things that I thought when I had this was how often would I be replacing the pod, changing the pod. It's not something you can reuse, which we'll look at that in a minute, but pretty much I've been using this now since I think we didn't get it Christmas Day. I had it after Christmas Day, maybe the 26th, 27th, I think. And I've been using it over the Christmas period to vacuum up after visitors and my children, etc. And general mess that you get around the house over Christmas. And it's been picked up, used for everything. When I say everything, it's used for hard floors, carpets, everything around the house. Hasn't used it for the car at the moment, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm using this pod that I started with that came within the machine. So I found when I've been using it on carpet, I can't put it on turbo mode. You just can't push it. If you release this slider by here and put it right down to that way, it is a bit easy to push, but then I feel like as if you've lost a lot of suction, and you might be better off just using it with that closed and putting it onto normal mode, because obviously when you use it on boost, the battery life will not last long. I've mostly been using it on normal mode, and the battery life's been pretty good. I think the longest that I had it running for before it died was 46 minutes, which I think was pretty good, and that's just been using it into normal mode. Right, okay, so let's talk about the weight and how it feels when you use it. It feels quite light, bearing in mind this is the heaviest part of the vacuum cleaner, because obviously this is where the motor is, where all your dust goes, and I'll be honest with you, it has got some weight to it. Surprisingly enough, you notice it as it fills up with more dust. I didn't think I would, but it does feel slightly heavier than what it did before. That said, I can hold it with my wrist like that, and I don't seem to have a problem with that, so it's not that heavy. But like I say, with any cordless stick vacuum, the weight is always at the top, because that's where the machine and the filter is, etc. So this is very light. This is very easy to hold. You could carry this up the stairs, very easy. There's no weight to this, and that's fine. It's a single brush as well on this one. Okay, so and by the way, this is steel. That is steel. That is not plastic. The ends are, but this is not. Okay, so like I said on my previous video, this is the first Henry that I've ever owned. It's also the first Henry that I've actually done a review on. Other Henrys that I've used in the past have been the cylinder form. Now, I believe this is the first cordless vacuum cleaner that Henry have made. One of the things I would like to point out is by here is where you put your air freshener in. Can't get it off now. In here is where they supply you with an air freshener for scents. It's quite a nice smell. It's not overpowering. It's just a very subtle smell when you use it. How long it lasts, I'm not sure. One of the things that's concerning is when I went onto the Henry website to purchase replacement scents, which I would class as an air freshener, they don't do them. It does not come up on the parts list or accessory list for the Henry Quick. The pods do, but nothing to do with air fresheners come up at all. So I'm not sure if that's something that Henry just hasn't put on the site yet, or if it's something that they don't expect you to purchase from Henry. You have to purchase from a third party or something. So I will look into that further, but at the moment you can't get those off the website. Can you use it without the air freshener? Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. It's not a mandatory item. The air freshener is just to make it smell a bit fresher when you're using the vacuum, really. Now, coming down to usage, I've used quite a few different vacuum cleaners, and I do feel that vacuum cleaners all have their all vacuum cleaners have their really good points. They're really good at something. They might not be so good at something else, but they all have their, they all have a place, a function that they're good at. With the Henry, I don't think it's very good at hard floors. I don't think the head is suitable for hard floors. I also, as well, don't feel like the suction is good enough in normal mode for hard floors, and you do find that you have to put it into boost. Now, when you're using it on boost for a hard floor, you will significantly reduce your battery life, in other words, your run time. But not only that, you still find that what it will do is, because you're using it on boost, it will actually fly bits of debris from the brush roll. Let me show you now. From the brush roll here, it will actually throw the debris from the brush roll, and it actually gets thrown around the floor. And then you find that you're taking longer to vacuum that floor to pick up the bits, and it's just something I've not experienced with a vacuum cleaner before. It's like as if it's pushing the dirt around instead of sucking it up. So what I do find is using it on normal mode seems to be better. However, you will notice as well that sometimes it just won't pick something up and you have to go over it several times. Also, I've had an experience where it's just got stuck inside the brush roll here, just stuck inside there. It's not picked it up, it's got stuck, and it's just not hasn't got the suction and the power to bring it, to take it up the pipe. And to resolve that, you just put it into boost for a few seconds and then it will suck it up. But that's not something I was expecting. One of the good points about this Henry is on the front here, you've got like a velar strip. And this is quite good because when you're vacuuming around, if you bump into furniture, cupboards, etc., it actually protects the items that you might bump into. So it stops anything from being damaged. So I do think that other vacuum manufacturers should take note of that, because that's something very simple and not expensive to put on any vacuum. And that can make a massive difference when you're vacuuming around the house. Especially if my son's vacuuming, because he just goes like a bull in a china shop. You just go for it, and he will bash into things. So vacuum cleaning wise, this has mostly been used on carpet. I haven't got a problem with it being used on carpet, but unfortunately when it comes to using the boost mode on the carpets here, you just can't push it, and you've got to release the airflow on the head, and then you lose suction, and then you ask yourself, why did I put it in boost mode in the first place? Now, usage wise, I do think the battery life is very good. Since I've had the vacuum cleaner, I've charged the battery twice. This is the second time now that the battery is on charge. When I was using the vacuum cleaner recently, the battery started, the lights on the front of the vacuum cleaner, which are by here, they're just above the power button, They light up all white when it's charged, and when it needs charging, it flashes red. Now, what's quite interesting is that I've mostly been using this with the brush roll on. I have used it as a handheld, but mostly with a brush roll on. The battery, I think, is quite good. I would say that the battery life could last a week, depending on how much you're using it. For me, like I said, I've been using this since I've had the vacuum cleaner, just using this for everything that needs to be cleaned up. And I've noticed that the battery life will last about 5 days, I think, before it needs charging. Today, the battery light was red and it was flashing, but it was still going. It didn't shut the machine off, and I was still able to finish the vacuum cleaner that I was doing before I took the battery upstairs and put it on charge. Like I was, I don't know sure if I mentioned this in the previous video, but I'll just touch base on charging. So they get supplied a mains charger. For the UK, that would be 240 volts. And you plug into the battery, and then you plug that into your 3-pin wall socket. It takes between 3 to 4 hours to charge. When I timed it the other day, it was actually 4 hours, but that could have been because it was, quite low. Now, when it comes to charging the Henry, you have 2 ways of charging it. You can leave the battery connected, so you could put the battery on here, and then you plug into the little socket on the battery and then plug your mains charger into that. If you do that way, if you do plug it in via leaving the battery on the unit, then these lights on here will light up and show you as it charges, and then they will, when it's fully charged, I believe they will go off when it's fully charged. So as it's charging, it will light up, and then when it's fully charged, the lights will go off. Personally, I tend to charge it with the battery off. Potentially, if I do set up the wall mount, which this did come with a wall mount, then potentially I might just leave the battery on and charge it like that way. That might be a bit more sensible to do it that way. Right, so usage. This only comes with the one tiny filter. The rest of the filters for this vacuum cleaner are actually part of the pod. So the pod acts as a filter as well as a dust collector, okay? Now, let's have a look and see how full this is. Bearing in mind, I've been using this all around the house. Now, to open it, you open it like that. Yep, now as you can see, it's been used. Now, this is the first thing that I noticed, and that is that they say dust-free, but straight away, there's quite a lot of dust here on an area which is something where you'd expect it all to be in the pod. Okay, so this is the pod here, yeah. Okay, so we'll pick this up. Now, this could be because the battery was low and it didn't have enough suction to put it into the pod. Yeah, okay, so we can push it into the pod now. I'm not sure if it's going to be caught on camera here, but looking into the pod here, it looks like it's quite full, yeah, the pod. But I think from what I've read and that it does compact it. So I think there's still some room in there before I need to change the pod. I'm going to continue using it, and I'll see what happens with the level of suction and that. If I do notice that the suction is affected, then I will be changing the pod. At the moment, to me, it looks like as if you'll be replacing the pod every week. Okay, so bearing in mind, don't quote me on my maths now. Right, so I did a price check the other day for pods off the Henry website, and they were, I believe, 12, a pack of 12, I think, for £15, and they were genuine Henry pods. Okay, so the pod, which I can actually show you on this big box here. So the pod, this one came with 26 3 pods. Now this is actually really good. So if anyone is looking at purchasing a Henry Quick, my advice is make sure you get you purchase it where you get 3 pods with it. Okay, I'm not saying like 5 I would say that the minimum you want is 12, which they do sell a pack of 12 on the website. What I also noticed as well is they don't come in anything bigger than a pack of 12. So, for example, I think it's a pack of 12. Nope, sorry, my wrong. It's a pack of 10, not 12. Right, so, I can't get them out now. Oh dear. It's not coming out, John. Oh no, here we go. It is coming out. There we go. Right, so this is a pack of 10. Now, this is what you purchase off the website, which I believe is 12 or 15 pounds. No, I can't remember off the top of my head. When I checked, I think it was about 15 pounds. I'm not sure if it's free delivery, so it might have been 15 pound with delivery. They do recommend to maintain your warranty, which is a 2-year warranty, by the way. Which is something that's a little bit disappointing, because if you look at other vacuum manufacturers, Dyson, they give you like a 5-year warranty. Shark, 5-year warranty. Yeah. And then Henry, 2-year. That doesn't seem long. Yeah. And to me, that's a little concerning to me, because a manufacturer that gives you a very like a 2-year warranty makes me think that they don't trust their machine for longer than 2 years, and after that you might get problems. So that's a little concerning with Henry. Henry's always come across as a very robust brand to me. Something that you buy which will really get the job done, and it's really built really well and it'll last a while. So I'm hoping that this is the case for this model. So anyway, these are the pods. So at the moment, I'm still using the pod that was in the machine. Whether or not I'll be changing it soon, I'm not sure, but I would like your comments on it, because it is looking quite full. There's no warning system on the vacuum cleaner at all to tell you when it's full. You've got nothing to tell you when it's full. You've just got to go by if it stops sucking, or if you have problems sucking up dirt, or if you think that it's really, really full, then you've got to change it, okay? And this is where, you could potentially be wasting money, because you could change the pod when you don't need to. So this is something else that's going to be quite interesting. So anyway, going back to the pod system. Right, so I was doing some checking, and if you were using the vacuum cleaner like I am, every single, on a daily basis, for everything around the house, then you could be looking at using 1 pod every 7 days, which is 1 pod a week. Okay, so we're going to base it on 4 pods a month. Okay, right, so that's basically 4 pods a month, right? So we've got 4 pods a month now, and we've got a pack of 10. Now, as you can imagine, a pack of 10 will last 2 months, okay? But if you add it up, now I did add this up before, right, so I basically added it up to the point of where you needed around about 52 pods, okay, in a year. That was what I looked at. Now, if that is correct, if you do need 52 pods, if you're using it on a regular basis, then you can only buy them in packs of 10 on the website, okay? So this is going to cost you an additional, well, pretty much nearly £100, okay, just for the pods on a yearly basis. Now, this is something that potentially could work out a bit cheaper, because I'm based on the genuine pods from Pneumatic, Henry. They recommend just to use their accessories, not to use third party. Bearing in mind, you've got to understand as well, is that this pod is not only a dust container, but it's like a dust seal. So in essence, it acts as a filter, because on this vacuum cleaner here, when we open it up, bearing in mind now, can I get this out? Oh yeah, I'm not sure if we can actually. Oh, here we go. We can slide it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a good look at this now. Oh, okay, here we go. That's interesting. Okay, squeezing this dust bag here, this pod, yeah, it does feel like there's quite a lot of room here. there's not a lot of room at the top, and then there's a real gap in the middle, and then there's something at the bottom. Okay, now this pod is material, and it's like, the best way I can describe it is like filter material. So the pod acts as a filter as well. Yeah, and I can show you in there. I don't think the camera is going to do that justice. I don't think, unfortunately, you can see the dust in there. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will last longer than 7 days. We shall see. But I based it on having one pod every week, which is 4 pods a month. Now, there are 52 weeks in a year. Yeah. So I based it on 52 weeks. Yeah. So that pretty much means that you need 52 pods, 1 per week. Okay, that's the way I based it. Maybe that's a bit less, but of course you can't buy anything more than a pack of 10 on the website. So effectively you're going to have to buy at least 5 of those packs. Okay, which, you know, in order for you to have enough to last you a year, potentially. Now, I don't know what it's like for stock on these pods, but when I checked on the website, they seem to have stock. It was okay. But it does look like, from what I've done some research on these, I seem to be only able to purchase them from Henry directly. I'm not about the genuine pods now. I haven't used any third-party ones. I've only just looked at genuine Henry spares and parts. Now, this pod feels really strong. This plastic part is material, okay, and obviously this goes in, right? Can you reuse this pod? This is something that I've been thinking about. I probably will have a go. I don't think it's recommended, but I will probably have a go and see how easy it is to reuse the pod. But let's be honest with you. If you were to go down the route of trying to reuse a pod, then it defeats the object of it saying dust-free emptying, because the only way you're going to get the dust out of this pod is by getting your hands in there or a tool or something and pulling the dust out, because it's not going to come out if you shake it, because it's designed to keep it in. So that probably wouldn't work. The other reason is as well, these aren't designed to be reused. They basically state in the instruction booklet, yeah, as well, that once the pod is full, you just put it in the bin. You empty it in the bin, straight in the bin, this pod goes, and then you just put a new pod in and off you go vacuuming, okay? So the object is dust-free emptying. You don't have any contact with the dust. You just eject that pod into the bin and then put a new pod in and off you go, okay? So one of the things as well, which is quite interesting as well with this Henry Quick, is right at the back here. I don't know if you can see it. Right at the back, you'll see that right at the end, there's a tiny, tiny black filter at the back. I'll see if I can reach it with my hand. It is so far down, it is very hard to get to. Oh, here we go. Yeah, okay. This tiny little black filter, okay. Now, it doesn't look much, but that's very important. That is a pre-dust filter for the motor, and that is required. You need to make sure that that goes in properly and it's always there. Now, something else as well with that dust filter, it's very small, it's washable, but you do need to maintain it. So when it comes to emptying the Henry Quick and you go to put a new pod in, you do need to check that to make sure if it's really dirty, because if it is, you might need to clean it. You might need to swill it under the cold tap and then let it dry before you put one in. Now, the next question is, can I buy new filters from Henry? No, don't see any of these filters on the Henry website at all. This looks like a filter that you just can't purchase. Doesn't seem to be anything on the Henry spare site, for the Henry Quick anyway, relating to that filter. So that basically is something that, as far as they're concerned, it's not a spare part that you can buy as a spare filter. So my advice is to take very good care of that, because it potentially you just can't buy another one, okay? I would like any feedback from Henry in that, if anyone's watching, on what they say about this, because like I said, maybe it's something that they haven't put on the website yet. Maybe it's something that they're still looking at expanding the spares. But at the moment, that when I looked, it wasn't on the website. Say, put the pod in, really easy. Just slide the pod in. You can't put the pod in wrong. You just can't. It just goes in like that. You shut it up, and then you're off to vacuum. Now, coming back to usage of the vacuum cleaner, yes, I've used it in a cylinder form with the crevice tool. Yes, I found it quite good with the crevice tool. I did get into nooks and crannies. One of the things that I did notice though when using it with the crevice tool is that the suction was not what I would expect. Well, the suction was not as good as what I'd expect on normal. And I was finding that when it came to sucking up debris, I was putting it on to high, which is boost, and using that with the crevice tool. Yeah. So I think potentially maybe it's because my bag is filling up. Maybe I'm losing suction as my pod gets fuller. Maybe my suction is degrading, and I'm having to use it on boost more. But I have noticed that when I was vacuuming earlier downstairs on the carpet, that I had to go over one area more than once. And I found that it was taking me a little bit longer to vacuum. It was like as if it didn't pick up everything and I had to do another pass. So at the moment, what I've noticed is I'm making more than one pass when I'm vacuuming. I will be doing a demonstration video of where we put a new pod in, and we, similar to what I've done with some Shark vacuum cleaners and Dyson, and we'll see how it gets on. However, I don't think that's going to be a fair test to the vacuum cleaner, because we're not going to be able to reuse the pod. So once that's done, the pod's going to have to be thrown out. But we'll see. I will do a video on an update on this video when the pod is completely full. And how do you know? I'm assuming that the way I'm going to tell if the pod is full is because it's just not sucking up any dust. Okay. Like I said, what I noticed earlier as well is when I opened it, I have noticed that there's quite a bit of dust around this area, and it sticks here. Now, whether or not that was just because my battery was really low, or maybe it is because it's getting full now, and I need to replace the pod. There's no indication on the pod of when it's full. There doesn't seem to be any monitoring or sensor system or anything to tell you when the pod's full. So I think I'm just going to use it until the pod's full. Now, if you're one of these people that have a cordless vacuum cleaner or any vacuum cleaner that's bagless, you'll know that when you've used your vacuum cleaner, you can just go straight to the bin, empty it, and then it's empty for the next usage. You can't do that with this vacuum cleaner, because if you do, then effectively you're throwing away your pod and putting a new pod in. Okay, so if you're a person who uses a vacuum cleaner and then thinks, right, that's it, that I'm gonna start off with a new pod, I've done it all around the house with my vacuum cleaner, I'm just going to change the pod and start again. Now that is something that you can do. There's nothing stopping you doing that. However, that would become more expensive, because if you were using this vacuum cleaner, say, to do the whole house, and then after every single use you replace the pod, you would be spending hundreds of pounds in pods in a year. I haven't looked at, like I said, third-party options when it comes to the pods, because Henry Pneumatic, they say, only use their genuine parts. And let's face it, you don't want to ruin your warranty, do you? Yeah. Okay, so warranty. Let's talk about the warranty. Right. I purchased this. This was purchased for me directly from the Henry website. Okay. So I expected, a bit like other manufacturers, that the warranty would be pre-registered. It was not. So if you are purchasing a Henry vacuum cleaner direct from Henry, you still have to go onto the website and go to the warranty form section, and you still need to fill that in and basically put your details in and your serial number, so that they're aware of it. Okay. Oh, we'll talk about serial number for a minute. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, so when I was filling in the warranty section, I had to go onto the website to find out where the serial number was. And the serial number is in there. It's inside the drum. So, and it's not easy to see. The best advice that I can suggest is to take a picture of it with a smartphone. And then you've got the serial number and model number easy to see. But it's not that easy to get to. And it's a sticker as well. And I've already noticed that it's starting to peel off. So maybe that's because you've got to slide the pod in and out. So that potentially, I think the advice there would be to take a picture of that, because that is the only location of your serial number and model number. So you're going to need that. Also, when it comes to warranty claims, according to the information off Henry website, you have to have proof of purchase before they will act on any warranty claims. So even if you've purchased direct from Henry, they still require you to provide proof of purchase before you can place a claim. So I'm hoping that I never need to place a claim with Henry for the warranty, because I wouldn't expect to. Henry Hoover have got a very good reputation with their products. So I would expect that this will last many years without any issues. Okay, so let's talk about day-to-day usage, comfortability. Is it easy to push around on a carpet? Yes. I do find it very easy to use. I think it's lighter than my Vax cordless vacuum cleaner. And I think it's around about comparable, same weight to the Shark, I believe. Shark stick cordless vacuum cleaner, as in weight differences, so I don't think there's anything different. Okay, so the head. I haven't had any problems with getting this head under units. It's not too big. If you look, it is quite a small head. The Shark vacuum cleaners and other vacuum cleaners out there, they can have bigger heads. So an example is a Shark Duo Clean head would be bigger than this. Yeah, it would be bigger. So this is quite a neat head. It's not so wide, and it does make it easier to fit under units and things. So I have found that it will. However, yes, it will fit under units, but we have this big bulky part of the wand here, yeah, which is obviously for you to release the brush part. But this, the top part of the wand anyway, this will stop you from going too far under, because it's very bulky. So it's not a game changer, I don't think. It will still perform the job for you. Okay, so cleaning wise, we'll go back to the, dropped it, never mind. Go back to the brush roll for a minute. Right, this will take some effort to clean, so, and it would require maintenance. So this does pick up hair. It is not anti-hair wrap or anti-tangle or anything like that. It is a traditional brush roll, and the hair will get wrapped around a brush roll, which you can probably see on camera. There's hair on it already, yeah, right? So it will need to be pulled off or cut off with a pair of scissors. Now, one of the good things about this is if you push this button, now I say push this button, it's not doing it now. No, it's not doing it. Hang on. Yes, it is. You push this button. Okay, let me just show it on the camera. Okay, so I just said now about that button I'm pushing here. So you have to push the button with your one hand, and you have to pull up at the same time. Okay, right? It won't do it for you. It will just release that plastic clip, but you have to pull up with your finger. Once you've done that though, you pull your brush roll out. That is quite good, because that does make it easier to clean. As you can see on camera, you can see the hairs on the brush roll, so that would need to be cut off. The best way to get that hair off would be to use a big pair of scissors with a long blade, and get the scissors in the groove and cut it off that way. That would probably be able to do it in one go to get the hair off. And then you just slide it back in, yeah, You can't get it in the wrong. You can't do it wrong. You know, you just can't put it in wrong, which is one of the good things. Slide it in. Once you've got it lined up, it just clips into place. Yeah. Another thing I've noticed as well, I don't know if it's just this one, but this vacuum cleaner has got like a velar strip here, and it started coming off a little bit not long after use. I put a little bit of glue on it and it hasn't come off since. Now, I don't think I'm going to be complaining to Henry about this, because I have had this happen on a previous vacuum cleaner, and it could be relating to when you're using it on hard floors, not necessarily carpet, so that could be something. Obviously, if it continues to happen, I think I will mention it to Henry, but at the moment, it's not causing me any issues. There are two little spin rollers here. These rollers, they haven't caused any problem for me at the moment. They haven't blocked up or anything like that. They've been pretty good. Right, okay. Anything else I can say about this Henry? I'm a little bit disappointed when it comes to usage, as in performance of suction, because if you use it in the normal mode, it just feels like as if it's not got as much suction as what it should do. But if you put it into boost, then it's too much suction and you have to balance it off on the head with the flow. But that is my personal experience because of the carpets that I have in the house at the moment. One of the things I will say as well is that you can clearly see with the pod that it is sucking dirt up. Okay, it's been used daily for all around the house, carpets and hard floors, and some of it in the handheld mode as well. It's a variety of different things it's sucking up, you know, from crumbs to hair to everything like that. So it is doing the job. Price wise, this is valued on the website at £300. There was a deal on that I noticed recently that they reduced it to £250. That's quite good. So if you were going out to buy the Henry, if you were really after the Henry quick, you could go and get it for £250 off their website. I think that's good. Getting it for less than £300 I think is a good price, especially if you get the 26 pods with it. Okay, there's also a Hetty quick, so if you didn't want a red one, you can go for different colours, but you can also go for the female version as well. I believe there's a granite and a silver and then the red. Personally, I think the red is a brilliant colour. My son loves it. And a little face on it as well with Henry. Right, I think we're going to close the video off there. I don't think there's anything else to touch base on it really at the moment. Can't give you a demonstration at the moment on this one because the battery's dead and I've only got one battery. But I will be doing a demonstration video, and we'll start off with a new pod, and we'll see how it goes with the suction on different levels, etc. And we'll have a little play with that and see how we get on. Anyway, I would like to say thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps with the channel and helps it grow. Obviously it gives me more enthusiasm to create more videos. As for my existing subscribers, thanks for sticking with me and subscribing. Really appreciate it. A YouTube channel is not a YouTube channel without just the people who subscribe and support the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Right, thanks for watching, and I shall speak to you soon. Cheers, bye for now.